Hello everyone, just me again here, and I want to talk about money and the money paradox, which I like to call it, and how money isn't necessarily responsible for making you happy, but it does help. It helps with your evolution. And when I was a child, I had very, very little money. I grew up with my mother in a very small house that was literally falling to pieces, and she literally had no money, and we used to have to beg, steal or borrow just to survive, and we didn't even have heating in the house. And during the winter, I remember, because the windows were so thin, kind of dropping to bits, I could see my own breath due to the frosty nights in the winter, and I'd have to sleep in a bed like that. And it was a very kind of poverty-stricken time. I know there's a lot more poverty in the world other than this, but for me to experience this when all my friends in this place where I live were living in more sturdy, beautiful houses with everything they ever wanted, was quite hard for me. But I learned a lot of lessons from that, because my mother kind of taught us how to be very clever with money and how to save money. So because of that, I managed to eventually find work, and then I saved up enough to buy my first car. I could buy all the things that I wanted to buy eventually by being very clever with money. And because I bought these things, like say for instance you buy a car, that helps with your spiritual evolution as well, because you feel more free. You can go and go to meetings here and there, you can go to spiritual events, you can go and visit friends, you're more free to do what you need to do. So money in that sense is a necessity for your spiritual evolution, and it can lead to happiness, but I don't think it's responsible for happiness in general. Because the reason I think that is because I know people who've got no money at all and they're very, very happy people. So it's up to you how you want to look at life and your upbringing to make you decide whether you're going to be happy with or without money. And you have to remember, a lot of really rich people are very unhappy because they've got so much money. They've got so much money, they've got everything they want in the physical world. They've got all the physical desires. And when you've got all your physical desires and there's nothing left to get, you've got nothing left to aim for. And because they've kind of dedicated the whole life to building up money, then they don't know what to do after that, you see. So if they're lucky, they'll get on the spiritual path and they'll start to enjoy other things like spiritual development or loving others or helping others, if they're very lucky. But if they're unlucky, they'll end up being very unhappy for the rest of life, and they usually end up on the deathbed wishing that they did more in life, or wishing they spent more time with the family or more time doing things they enjoy, rather than working constantly to build up this massive amount of money, because money is just a physical thing, you see. So yeah, there's a couple of paradoxes with money there as well. And another paradox is, the more money you've got, the more responsibilities you have. The more physical possessions you've got, the more responsibilities you've got. So if you've got loads of houses, loads of cars, you've also got the paradox of having that responsibility, which can also bring your energy down in life. Like all these responsibilities, things, the more you've got to lose type thing, you see. So this is another reason why people with nothing have no responsibility. They've got nothing to lose, so the only thing left after that is everything to gain. So they end up a lot happier than people with money. So that's a paradox as well. But I think money does help your spiritual evolution, and it is an important thing in your younger years, because unfortunately in this day and age, just slow down for the speed camera there, in this day and age you have to have money to survive, unfortunately. It's not as if we have the technology yet to just replicate things, which in the future I think we will be able to just replicate everything. It'll be so cheap to do so that eventually money will go out of the equation, and it'll all be about love. Like on Star Trek with the replicators, where it replicates the food instantly, I think all food will be created like that, and the 3D printers are the first stages of that. So I'm looking forward to those times if I'm still alive. If not, and we go to another dimension, I hope I can still see this dimension so I can watch it all happen, or maybe even choose to come back here if what they say in those reincarnation spiritual teachings true. We don't know, but I'm going to make a video on that soon as well. Then I'd like to see the future of technology, because that's another reason the physical world is very important, and money is also a driver for this type of thing. Money drives technology, which is a good thing as well. But a lot of people say technology is bad, but it's not. That's a paradox as well, because it has its goods and its bads. Like everything else in the world has its good points and it also has its bad points, and money is one of those things. So that's my view on money at the moment. I think I'm at a stage of my life now where I can literally, if I did for some reason lose things I've got, I could still be happy. I could still be happy with very little money, because I've reached that stage where I don't need physical desires anymore to make us happy like I did when I was younger. I can now be happy with very simple things like just jumping on a bus and just watching the world go by, or having a coffee for a couple of pounds and just sitting enjoying a coffee. And as you evolve, you start to kind of appreciate those simple things even more. So money doesn't really resonate with you as much, and it's not so much you take it for granted. I would say you just kind of evolve past that mentality where you need money to survive, because you eventually realise you'll survive anyway whether you've got money or not, and you can appreciate everything if you set your mind frame to that. So that's my views on money, guys. I don't know if you guys agree. If you do, that's great. If you've got an opinion about money you want to help other people with, just leave it in the comments. And thanks for listening to me today, guys. And I'm off now for a coffee for a couple of pounds, and I'm just going to sit and enjoy life without spending very much money. So see you guys in the next video.